Alright? Who's a form of the whole praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakakadash, the blood and our apostles and our elders at Great Millstone, who rule well. Salutations to the brothers that preach and teach us with sincerity and in truth, across the four corners of the planet. Good. Brother Barah here, Brother Yahweh, and Brother Amawan James, that camp, and we just touched on Christopher Columbus, right? He should not be what? Revered, because what? He is a lying devil, right? And because of him, right? Our people are in this, because of him, or was the beginning of what? Our people coming down to this what lower state, right? He was one of the devils that the Most High used, because the Most High said that he was going to use a nation, what a child, I think it's a childless nation. How you say it? You just normally say that Yahweh that Esau is a child, but there's a scripture that goes with it that he's going to use a nation to come and take us down. A foolish nation can't do that, right? Because they are what they don't have the laws, they don't have the statutes, they don't have the commandments. They say in their heart that there is no Yahweh, there's no power, right? So as you brother let's quote, he's going to use a foolish nation because the fool said in his heart that there's no God, and that's what the so-called white man does, right? They say that there's no God. Anybody have anything? Let me just before I organize the video.
Let me see if I find the precept with that score there.
Yeah, I'll read something here. I'll read something. Started?
No, you go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, these times, these are perfect. These are good scripture for it. Psalm 55 and 20 says, he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet with a drawn sword.
Yeah, with the drawn sword. Right? He's that deceiving devil. Right? He put forth his hand to touch those that were at peace with them, because the majority of our accounts said that when he met the natives, right? Even from his own records, he said that when he met the natives, that the natives were peaceable people, right? But in his mind, in his spirit, all he said is, he said that all he was thinking was, watch, I could come here with 50 men and conquer these people, because they coming at us with what, spears and bows and arrows. I could come with 50 men and we could take down these people. So his only wickedness was in his heart. Yeah, what up? Okay, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 50. Start from 49. He said, the Lord Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
Yeah, that nation is what? The Edomites, right? Because the Most High said he was going to use them to be a sword against us, right? To chasten us towards what we broke his law, statutes, and commandments, right? We're going to start with this video here that exposing them, because even the Edomites exposing their own selves. And what the scriptures say, how can a nation divided against itself what shall fall? So not everybody in the nation of Edom is what in the same mind as you elites, right? So that they're exposing you. And all that's by the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai too. Because what the saints of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the prophets, we exposing you too. Right? Today is October the 8th. So they call it what? They're celebrating Christopher Cabal Day, or Christopher Columbus Day, or Cristobal Colon was what his biblical was Salakia, his biblical name, was his real name, right? So let me let you might expose a little bit.
This day, which we've celebrated in various parts of this country since the 18th century, even before it became a federal holiday back in 1937. And that's probably long enough.
You're here, right?
Can.
Find out the actual facts of what Christopher Columbus did when he got to America, you're going to see that it's one of the darkest chapters in America's history. Now, I've got a lot of these facts, okay, so feel free to just cut me off when you want to interject. But first of all, let's start with something light. Columbus initiated the transatlantic slave trade in early February 1494, first sending several dozen enslaved Tainos, these are the native peoples I already landed on, to Spain. Columbus described those he enslaved as well-made and of good intelligence. He ordered 1,600 of them rounded up, and had 550 of the best males and females, according to one witness, Michel de Cugnot, chained and sent as slaves to Spain. Of the rest who were left, that was right, the announcement went around that whoever wanted them could take as many as he pleased, and this was done. And I understand that significant numbers of even those early slave deliveries ended up dying on road. Okay, so let me...
Right, so I am reading for a book called... I'm reading from a book called Longman's Caribbean History, Empires and Conquest by John Gilmore, Beryl, M. Allen, and Diane McCallum, and Romelia Ramdeen, right? So this is what I had to say because, you know, you just spoke about the Taínos. We're going to speak about the Taínos and Kalinagos. When Europeans first arrived in the Americas in the late 15th century, the island of the Caribbean were inhabited by three groups of Amerindians. The most important were those who lived in the island of the Great Antilles, Cuba, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and Bahamas, and who were generally called the Taínos or Arawaks, right? So it says, and those who lived in the Lesser Antilles, who we call the Kalinagos or the Caribbean, or the Caribs. Another group about whom we knew very little were the Siboneyes, who lived in parts of Cuba and western Hispaniola, right? The Amerindian people of the Caribbean islands differed among themselves, but it is clear that these differences were exaggerated by the Europeans for their own ends. So they were exaggerated by the Europeans for their own ends. The scripture says that we are wise to the wise of the devil, right? So, I mean, they're bringing all the information now. They exaggerated for what? For personal gain. I'm going to see. Columbus said that the Arawaks were peaceful and the Caribs were warlike. And this was often repeated by later writers, right? It was also claimed that the Caribs were cannibals. However, these claims were used in the 16th century as an excuse by the Spaniards to carry out slaving raids against these people who were described as Caribs. And it is clear that the same people, such as the Amerindians of Trinidad, would sometimes be called Arawaks and sometimes Caribs, depending on the politics of the day, right? Much of what we know about the Amerindians of the Caribbean has come to us from the description given of them by early European visitors, right? The explorers such as Columbus. While these accounts are often biased, right, they remain valuable sources, right? I'm on you there?
Yes.
All right, so here, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read the account from the book, or you can read it if you would like, from the book, First in the Caribbean, First in Trinidad, Slovakia.
Yes.
You have it close by, or you want me to go ahead and read?
What part in it?
Page 13.
Page
13.
30?
13.
Alright, I have it here.
Chapter 5, right? Page 13, 13. Right, so you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
From where?
Right. You can read from like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the Caribs, in about the 6th line, the Caribs, right? Because it just described it to Taino. We just described the Taino people. And we just described that the so-called white man, with the name of the Spaniards, they used to exaggerate. So what the writer says is that this exaggeration was used to what? To enslave the Caribs, right? Because we know that the first batch of slaves was some of the natives that they took back to what? To Europe, Spain, and these countries, right?
Done. So, read from where? way say the Caribs were a group of people.
Go ahead.
Right. Book, this is book posted that by Michael Anthony. Right? And chapter 5 in it. I read from 6 line. Second paragraph in it. Says the Caribs were a group of people move from place to place in search of food. They are reputed to have come from the Guyanas in South America and who have moved up the islands, leaving in their wake a path of blood and terror.
Right, so we know that is propaganda. That was propaganda that the devil used, right? And that they didn't come. We know that they didn't come from the Guyanas, right? This is Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelled, right? That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. You see, so we know that these people that so-called Christopher Columbus so-called discover their lands that they dwelt was a lie, because these where he went had people there, so he didn't discover anything. And these people, they weren't cannibals at the time, right? Probably later on, but at the time they weren't cannibals, and all this manner of exaggeration, right? Because it says that they went there to keep their statutes which they never kept in their own lands, right? And all this was by reason of what? Because Israel broke the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And the Most High also, he also, hey, let's go back starting with King Solomon, right? Because King Solomon, he broke it by what? Worshipping the idols of his different demons, the different women that he had, right? Offering up, creating temples and statues of whatever he did, right? So the Most High said what? He was going to rent the kingdom from him, right? So this is First Kings chapter 11, verse 11, verse 9. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from Yahweh, power of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Wherefore the Yahweh said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant, and my statutes which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and I will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit I will not rend away all the kingdom, but I will give one tribe of thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab and the captain of the host was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. It says that Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him, to go into Egypt. Hadad being yet a little child, right? Um, yeah. Well, jumping down to verse 36. And unto his sons will I give one tribe, that David my servant may have. Let me read from 30. Right? This is the rention of the kingdom I'm describing here right now. Right? Um, and because the kingdom was rent, the 10 tribes, they came to what you know as the Americas today, right? Just 1 second here. It says, verse 30, and Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him, and rent it in 12 pieces, and said unto Jeroboam, take the 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the power of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and I will give 10 tribes to thee, but he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of the tribes of Israel, because that they have forsaken me and have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Shemus, the god of Moab, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways to do that which is right in mine eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgment, as did David his father. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for David my servant's sake, whom I choose because he kept my commandments and my statutes. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and I will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes, and unto his son I will give one tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, and the city which I have chosen to put my name there. So the tribe, the house of David remained in what? Jerusalem, on the Rehoboam. But on the Jeroboam was what? The 10 tribes, and they were what? Scattered. And they were who Christopher Columbus came and met, right? In the so-called New World, or the Americas. Right? You can continue to read that.
Continue to read?
Yeah, come on.
Yes. Yes. Right. It says, unlike the Arawak who inhabit Trinidad and the bigger islands of the West Indies, the Caribs were not eaters of meal and fish, but eaters of flesh, human flesh.
Right, so that is propaganda. That was the propaganda that they spread, right? They were eaters of human flesh. Go ahead.
It says, Cyrus was good and on his first voyage of discovery, 1490, he was told about these people by the inhabitants of Haiti. He was also told they came from a province called Caniba, hence the word cannibal.
Right, so he said he was told by the inhabitants of Haiti. So what the inhabitants of Haiti, how they know about these other people down in the Lesser Antilles, right? Because they were the same people and they were speaking the same language. You see? Right? That's a day. I can hold off on that for the minute. Just for the minute, yeah. You can go to chapter 6 and load up chapter 6 in the meantime. Page 15 in that book, in the first in Trinidad. Right? So, going back to this book that I'm reading here, this book is entitled again, The Empires and Conquests, right? Longman's Caribbean History. It says, much of what we know about Amerindians of the Caribbean has come to us from the description given to them by early European visitors and explorers such as Columbus. While these accounts are often biased, they remain valuable sources. Much has been learned from archaeology, and historians have also learned from researchers, who have studied the languages and customs of present-day Amerindian peoples in and around the Caribbean, right? Uh, the evidence suggests that the Amerindians arrived in the Caribbean from the regions around the Orinoco basins in Venezuela, right? And the Guyanas. The Tainos arrived first between the 1st and 7th century CE and moved northward throughout the Lesser Antilles until they have finally settled in the islands of Greater Antilles. The Kalinagos arrived later from about 1000 CE and were still arriving when the Spaniards themselves came into the region. They made their way up the Lesser Antilles, making these islands and Trinidad and their home, right? So I have another article from another book. I can take this book out of the library, so I just have to take pictures and then print it out. It says the Arawaks meet the Spaniards. Among the prophetic songs of the Arawaks was one which told of the coming of strangers, covered in clothing and armed with thunders and lightning of heaven. But the first meeting between the Arawaks and Spaniards did not reveal the thunders and lightning which were to conquer two empires and subjugate several tribes. This is the way Cedric Belfrage, a novelist, imagined the meeting of the Arawaks and Spaniards in his book, My Master Columbus. All that happened before that day has become a thin cloud on the horizon that our first father Kalinago came with his family from the great land to the west. So what was that great land to the west? Because what? We are the so-called West Indies, we actually east, right? We actually east to what? We east to the Middle East. Sorry, no, we west to the Middle East. We are the West Indies, Salakia, yeah. We are the West Indies, right? But the motherland, which is Jerusalem, is east. Even Africa is east to us, right? So it says our first father, Kalinago, who came with his family from the great land to the west, he was tired of living among the quarrelsome Galibi people and wanted a place where he could sit drinking uchuku and be quiet. I don't already know what that drink is. I didn't look into it. It was quiet where he settled. On the other islands, there were often visitors from far places, sometimes some Caribs, who came to kill. So they say what? The Kalinago, in one account, the Kalinagos is the Caribs. In another account, they say the Caribs are somebody else. You see? Or we have to use the scriptures as being the datum or the foundation. Because the scriptures is the only thing that is true. Right? Who came to kill and eat, but hardly anyone except close neighbors ever came to Wahani once. Alright, well, I can stop there because I mean the point was that they were just still pushing that the Caribs were flesh eaters, or carnivores, right? I'm gonna go back to Second Kings to describe the splitting of the 10 tribes. They're leaving again, right? And I'm going to also go to the Apocrypha and debunk the fact that they say that the Caribs came from what? From they said the Caribs came from the Guyanas or the Orinoco Basin in Venezuela and the Guyanas, and the Tainos arrived first from in the 7th centuries from coming up northward to the Lesser Antilles and then moving up to the Greater Antilles, right? It says 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 17. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire and cause divination and use divination and enchantments and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of Yahweh to provoke him to anger. Therefore, Yahweh was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight, right? There was none left but the tribe of Judah only, right? No, Judah was what? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And as you read in First Kings, the Most High left that remnant so that David could have that inheritance, right? And of the Lord their power Sorry. Also, Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which he had made. And the Lord rejected the seed of Israel and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight. Right? That was what Shalmaneser the fifth. For he rent Israel from the house of David, Israel being what, the 10 tribes, right? And they made um, Jeroboam, Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, king, and Jeroboam drave Israel from following Yahweh and made them sin a great sin. For the children, that's all, sin a great sin. Like that, let's check this out. Right. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants, the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cuthah and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria, in the cities of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so was the beginning of their dwellings there, that they feared not Yahweh. Therefore Yahweh sent lions among them. Right, I can stop there because I get the point, right? So the kingdom was they were chased out of Jerusalem. Right? You have anything you want to bring out?
When you finish, you got the article later.
Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna come back to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 43. Chapter 42 again. And they might keep their statues which they never kept in their own lands, right? So after they were driven out, they went to what we know as the Americas today, right? And Cuba and Hispaniola. These were the places where the 10 tribes came and they set law, right? It says that they might keep their statues which they never kept in their own land, and they entered into the Euphrates by a narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Astarak, right? So that is what the first name of America, right? Then dwelt they there until the latter times, and now when they shall begin to come, right? You can go ahead of course, right? That basically that's the scriptures that's basically describing how we ended up, the reason why we ended up as the 10 lost tribes, or the 10 tribes that was on this side of the earth before Columbus and wicked Edomite came across, calling themselves a Spaniard and conquistador, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah. Like, she's like it's tripping right now. There's a whole heap of madness happening. Trying to get this thing open and just sticking. Whole lights here right now. There's the battle that he's gotta go through every day with this man device. I ever seen the mouse
Oh, shit. I
mouse
see.
stick and all kind of thing.
I see that. I see that.
Yeah, trying to pull up the article. All kind of thing opening I don't want to open.
Alright, I'm gonna read a little bit more from the first in Trinidad in the meantime.
God.
Uh, first in Trinidad, this is chapter 6. Oh yeah, I didn't show any books before, so these are the books. This is first in Trinidad and Michael Anthony. Right? And this book, the book I was reading from all the time was what? The Empires and Conquest. Right?
Eh,
First in Trinidad. These devils, right? Tobago, one of the only two islands in this region Christopher Columbus did not discover, came into recorded history only in 1625, when the first attempt was made to settle it. Before that, it was not entirely unknown, for we know that the group of English sailors visited this island in 1580. They did not stay, but they left the Union Jack tied to a tree, meaning that they had claimed the island for England. The people who tried to settle Tobago in 1625 were British settlers from Barbados. In a way, it was coincidental that they should have come from Barbados because Barbados was the other island that Columbus did not encounter. However, the new settlers arrived in Tobago to a reception that could have only been described as terrifying. At that stage, the Caribs were masters of Tobago. That um, they had no intention of welcoming intruders. The group seeking to settle was led by the Reverend Nicholas Leverton, who with his followers felt that they could not accept what they described as sinful life being led in Barbados. But the experience was on arriving in Tobago must have been far more bewildering. As soon as the group came ashore, they met such a hostile assault by the Caribs that they had to flee for their lives. Most of them fell on Carib arrows, and few of that escaped died so that swimming back to their boat died swimming back to the boat. Reverend Leverton himself barely escaped. He had sustained head wounds, blah blah blah. Um, it goes into basically that they came about two or three times to Tobago, right? And in order to conquer Tobago, what they had to do, they had to come back with horses, right? I don't know if I'm on to bring out a little bit more. I can get you yet.
Good one.
nah, still,
Um, in um, in the first in Caribbean when they was talking about the the conquerors of Tobago when they came to get Tobago.
Oh, what the chapter 6 with them to read?
And no, the chapter after that.
Chapter
Even yes, I breezed through chapter 6 yesterday. Oh, so
so,
that's it. Right? What I will do, because I get another problem, unless you have a precept to bring up. What I will do
I
is
get you.
you get you? Alright, so
I
let
get
me
it up. I get it up, but to share it now, the share button even coming up.
alright.
So you go ahead and read the precept by the time. Yeah,
You
it will
have a
come
precept
up.
you have any precept I'm on?
yeah, well, I will get some. I will get some. These Sirach chapter 12 verse 10. Yeah, and it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed of him, and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. Thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether away.
Alright.
So that is so-called white man, like Christopher Columbus in particular, actually, because the natives and them, they read accounts, he and all say for himself, these people as peaceful people.
Alright.
And he take out that sword after them. You know? He didn't meet them with peace. He didn't meet them with love or equity or unity. His mind was to destroy and conquer. And that's all so-called white people mind, to destroy and conquer. To divide, conquer, to destroy and conquer. Okay? You never trust the enemy. Never trust a so-called white man. Never. Right? Ever do it. One of the worst things you could do. But they will kill you.
It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 6, starting at 18. And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. It says, and I will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I shew these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see altogether. And this is what's happening here now, because we opening the books. We bringing forth the understanding. Who's we, the prophets of the Lord, Yahweh shall we bringing forth the understanding, and the token of the books, which speaks about a race of man, the so-called Edomites, the so-called white man, which are the Edomites, but they're taking it overboard with punishing the nation of Israel, giving them hardcore slavery for 400 plus years, and we in slavery up to now, right? Because they have us in bondage, and they continue to destroy us and our seeds, right? And they continue to establish themselves on the planet Earth, right? And this is what we're seeing. This is what is being made manifest.
Done.
You ready? Yeah, what up?
God.
I can bring one more precept before you start. This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right? And this is so-called white man. They dealt with the nation of Israel unrighteously. Right? They hurt the poor. Right? I'll bring us some more precepts after, but I'll let Ark go ahead with this. I'll continue up. And you go ahead.
Yeah, this is Columbus Day, the true legacy, and it's a cruelty and slavery. So why do we honor a man who, if he were alive today, he said, would almost certainly be still on death row waiting for execution? And this is incorrect, because if he's still alive today, he can be one of them top. He can be a part of the elite. You understand? You can't jail him. You understand? So, he could be alive today, or he could be in the spiritual realm. It doesn't matter, These devils still gonna pay for what they do, and he going into slavery. Anyway, the Most High can still send him back. You understand? To pay for all these things that they did to the children of Israel. So if he in their life today, he's not gonna be on no death row. He can be in high. He can be one of them luminary ones, right? It said once again, it is time to celebrate Columbus Day. Yet the stunning truth is, Christopher Columbus were alive today, he would be put on trial for crimes against humanity, right? The Rothschilds are alive today, and they commit all kind of crime against humanity. They're on trials. They don't no fucking trials. Right? He said Columbus' reign of terror, and documented by no historian, who so bloody, his legacy so unspeakable, cruel, that Columbus make the modern villain like Saddam Hussein look like a piece of cut fish. Right? He said, why do we honor a man who, okay, he said, if you were alive today, would almost be certainly be sitting on death row for waiting execution? He said, if you did like to know the true story about Christopher Columbus, please read on. But I warn you, it is not for the faint-hearted. Right? He said, here is the basic. On the second Monday in October each year, we celebrate Columbus Day. This year it is October 11th. We teach our school kids a cute little song that goes, in 1492, Columbus sailed to the ocean blue. He said, it is an American tradition, as American as pizza pie, or it is. He said, surprisingly, the true story of Christopher Columbus has very little in common with the myth we all learn in school. Right? He said, Columbus Day, as we know it in the United States, was invented by the Knights of Columbus, a Catholic fraternal service organization. Back in 1930, they were looking for a Catholic hero as a role model their kids could look up to. In 1934, as in
Slovakia, if you don't mind, I have a precept because they were saying that Columbus, if he was here today, right, he would not be in. He would be among the luminaries, right? Psalm 73, verse start at 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. So we know the wicked man is Esau, right? For there are no bands in their debt, but their strength is full, because they leave their inheritance unto themselves, so they come back down in generations to receive it. Right? Despite they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued with like other men. Therefore pride compassed them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment. Right? So through the spirit, it was correct. Right? I just wanted to prove that.
Zechariah 11 and 5.
I'll bring it up. So Zechariah chapter 11 verse 5. No sword like papyrus paper is diminishing. Zechariah 11 and 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. See? So these are the devils that we speak about. They're not to be revered. They're supposed to be going on in the history book as devils, as murderers, as liars, as thieves. They're supposed to be in contempt. They're supposed to be ashamed. But they are the rulers of the world. Right? But for short.
Job 20 and 4. Right? He said, I could go ahead.
Huh?
I could go ahead?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said Columbus Day, as we know in the United States, was invented by the Knights of Columbus, a Catholic fraternal service organization. Back in 1930, they were looking for a Catholic hero as a role model their kids could look up to. In 1934, as a result of lobbying by the Knights of Columbus, Congress and President Franklin Roosevelt signed Columbus Day into law as a federal holiday to honor its courageous explorer, or so we thought. Right? So this holiday has nothing to do with you Israelites, especially you so-called Native and so-called Latino. Right? This is your enemy, so you're not supposed to even celebrating this day. They're celebrating the destruction of the so-called Latinos and the so-called Native American Indian. He said they are
I have a little bit on that church in the book that I have here.
Go ahead.
Church, right? You can read back what you just read about the church.
It said back in 1930 they were looking for Catholic hero as a role model their kids could look up to. In 1934, as a result for the lobbying by the Knights of Columbus, Congress and President Franklin Roosevelt signed Columbus Day into law as a federal holiday to honor his courageous explorer, or so we thought.
Right? It says the power of the Pope. Right? The power of the Pope. Right? It says by the 9th century, the Bishop of Rome, known as the Pope, had become the ruler of a large part of central Italy. More importantly, he had established his authority over the church um, throughout Western Europe. This was called the Catholic. This was called the Catholic, which means universal church, right? So you see the universal Pentecostal church that they have now. It's the same spirit, because universal means one, right? Um, in 1054, the Western Church split permanently from the Greek-speaking Church of the Eastern Mediterranean, which had headquarters in Constantinople. The Pope claimed to have inherited the power that the Bible says Mashiach had, given to St. Peter, Matthew 10, well, I guess it's 16 and 18 to 19. Right? St. Peter is believed to have been the first bishop of Rome to have been killed there for his faith. The church claimed the right to tell the earthly rulers what they should do, because spiritual matters were more important than earthly ones. Since the earthly rulers did not always agree with this idea, sometimes there were conflicts. Now, later on, I'll bring out the spreading of the word and the Renaissance, because all this was the so-called white man setting up his white supremacy, right? Having that church was part of the white supremacy, because when Columbus and the conquistadors came, what they came with? They came with a Hebrew translator and Catholic pope, Catholic priest to convert, right? So it was all about power, right? The Renaissance had part to play with it too. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said there are several problems with this. First of all, Columbus wasn't the first European to discover America. As we all know, the Viking Leif Erikson, probably founder of Norse village and Newfoundland some 500 years earlier. So hats off to Leif. But if you think about it, the whole concept of discovering America is well, Aaron, after all, Native American discovered North America about 1400 years before Columbus was even born. Surprisingly, DNA evidence now suggests that courageous Phoenicians adventure sailed out canoes across the Pacific and settled in South America long before the Viking. He said Columbus wasn't a hero. He said when he set foot on the sunny beach in Bahamas on October 12, 1492, Columbus discovered that the island were inhabited by friendly, peaceful people called the Lucian, Taiones, and Arawak. He said, writing in his diary, Columbus said they were a handsome, smart, and kind people. He noted that the gentle Arawak were remarkable for their hospitality. They offered to share with anyone, and when you ask for something, they never say no. He said the Arawak had no weapon. The society had neither criminals, poison, nor prisoners. They were so kind-hearted that Columbus noted in his diary that on the day the Santa Maria was shipwrecked, the Arawaks labored for hours to save it's Salakia. Yeah. He said Yeah, he said they were so kind-hearted that Columbus noted in his diary that on the day this Santa Maria was shipwrecked, the Arawak labored for hours to save his crew and cargo. The native people were so honest that not one thing was missing. He said Columbus was so impressed with the hard work of these gentle islanders that he immediately seized their land for Spain and enslaved them to work in his brutal gold mine. Within only 2 years, 125,000, half of the population of the original native lander were dead. Within 2 years. Right? I mean, that's, yeah.
If I could just say this quick, these are the same devils who want to find a new place to live in. I mean, they want to go on Mars, and they want to go on all kind of different planets outer Earth. And Christopher Columbus, when he met the natives, you know, read that it said they had no criminals among them when he did not read.
Gone.
So who bring
No
all
criminal,
that?
no criminal, no poison, no prisoners.
No criminals, no prisoners, so all living in peace. So who
No
bring
poison too.
on the Western Hemisphere? Now fucking Edomite, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So if these same Edomites find a new place to live outside of the earth, like Mars, Venus, whatsoever, and if they meet people there, they're going to do the same thing and bring that place to the same way to bring this place. They will do the same thing. So these people have to be eradicated.
That's right.
That is all the solution for them. That is what I have to say to go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to bring two precepts, Baba Kusha.
Yeah, go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 13. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For they had given him credence in he fell Salakia, not this one, Salakia, my bad. It's
You can read the same one up.
I can read
You
it.
read the same one up. This is how Esai's move. Because we were saying it, he said there was honest, there was remarkable for the hospitality, they share with him, they never said no to him, but yet still he tore and destroyed them.
Can't.
So there's a Yapa precept there.
What?
So there's a Yapa precept reading there.
Alright, can't. First Maccabees 1 and 30. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel.
Exactly. That's how the so-called white man is moved. He does greedy, he does covet everything. That's why the Most High said the end of his covetousness is come to an end. You understand? He just split everything.
And this is 2 Ezra chapter 11, verse 41 and 42. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such that they did no harm. Now, who are the ones that bring forth fruit? That's the nation of Israel, right?
Yeah.
We are the ones that bring forth fruit. We will ultimately a peaceable nation, right? What your record showing, right? But according to the scripture, the fruit of the spirit is peace, right? There's Galatians chapter 5. Just bear with me a little bit, Babakosha. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, and goodness, and faith, meekness, temperance, and against such there is no law. So this was some of the things some of the qualities that we had back then, because we were more pure then, but we were still going off because we were worshiping idols. but we're still more pure than we are now. And that's what Columbus would have experienced, the peaceable nature of our people. Because the scripture said Jacob was cool, dwelling in tents. We wasn't about rioting and warfare and anger, ignorance, you know. But he is of his father, the devil, which is Satan. Right? He was a murderer from the beginning, Cain. Scripture said they increased their borders like death and hell. And that's exactly what Christopher Columbus started off his regime with. Even before him was who? Alexander the Great. Why was he great? Because he plundered many nations.
Done.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
So what,
Yeah. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit.
For
And that's
example,
how we speak it. That.
for example, when Christopher Columbus met the natives, what he said, in his mind, he was thinking that, hey, I can overthrow these people and just pick them in.
Done.
You understand? Nothing good. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Job 14 and 4. You understand?
Yeah.
These people they are the devils. They are the devils.
Now what I am with it?
Yeah, go ahead now. Come after you and bring me Gary.
Have yourself here because I never live in the States, but from what I hear men in the States, the brothers in the States, when there was in elementary school, they were taught that Christopher Columbus was such a loving guy, and you know, he was a man, a good man, a good upstanding man. But from the total history, what being revealed now, that he was a bloody murderer. So
That's right.
these Romans 12:13 verse 10. It says, love will take no ill to his neighbor. And just because of standing on that would be was a man of love.
Done.
Revealing on Christopher Columbus now is showing that he was a man of pure hate. Because love don't work no ill to his neighbor.
Done.
Beating peaceful people and wronging them up and carrying them to skin, shackles and chains is not love. That is not love. Yeah, that is hate. That is an act of hatred.
Done.
It says love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. Right? So the Columbus wasn't operating off of the laws that he Most High. He was operating off of his own mind.
Done.
Ways. That is a devil. That is the devil that Bible speaks of. Never ever trust a so-called white man. Never trust a white man. Never. Alright?
Done.
Teach the children not to trust no so-called white people or any either nation for a fact. So Lord, I just get past.
Done. The scripture say he that teacheth his son grieve his enemy.
Yes. Yes. Because when you will be teaching your sons, you will be teaching your son who is the enemy.
That's right.
And who is? You know? These people is not your friends, man. Christopher Columbus, what you get to very daily. You know, might be their friend. Alright? That is not your friend. I will love it.
Done.
Yeah.
Here we go. Speak close to the mic, right there. The song is far off.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue. Right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, 16. He said, an enemy speaketh sweetly with lips, but in his heart he imagined how to overthrow thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not satisfy with blood. And when he come, right, when we read down what this article, tell you when he come and see how peaceable these men is, he was thinking to conquer them. And it was giving you everything free. But what was greed and covetousness, right? This is spirit that we saw. Right? This is the spirit, right? He said, if I were a Native American, I would make October the 12th, 1492, a black day on my calendar. You see the word black of after what? evil, darkness, misery. You understand? You make it a black day. That's why we tell you retarded niggas, call yourself black. You're in black. Right? He says, shockingly, Columbus supervised the spelling of the native girls. Setsalak is supervised the selling of native girls into sexual slavery. Young girls. Yeah.
No, that's a can't.
Yeah. He said young girls of the age 9 to 10 were the most desirable by his men. Right? But when we go into the law and showing that rape in the scriptures, right? People getting all emotional, you know, and speaking all kind of manner of evil. And these is the wickedness that the Most High revealing that what this devil been doing throughout his rulership. Since they came into power in the mid 14th century to now. This is all the atrocity that they did to the children of Israel. And these are the heathen nation who they were pressing to. Right?
Have a precept.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Joel chapter 3, or 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, the whole nation, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Right? And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel. Now, when you look at the word plead, it means to judge, to execute judgment, right? Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, and have what cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, and that they might drink. Yea. Well, I could stop there. I know that because just going back into what? Into the fact that Christopher Columbus was selling our young girls as slaves, native girls as slaves, like girls as slaves. The slavery real old, because we have to consider all these things, because even though they were natives, they was Israelites, right? It's the whole nation, because the Most High said He's going to judge for both Judah and Israel, and Judah and Jerusalem, right? He's going to judge for the whole nation, for what you all done to us. I pray Columbus right here, right now. You can feel it from day one. No? Why?
Yeah, he said Columbus casually wrote about it in his log. That's how proud he is too. And also, that's how great the Most High is. The Most High make you write down we do. Not even knowing. You understand? So the Most High said the own tongue will fall upon themselves.
I was not going to bring the precept.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, I have to look quick. Go ahead. I have to load it up.
Yeah, he said 100 castellanos are as easy obtained for a woman as for a farm, and it is very general, and there are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 to 10 are now in demand. Right? And what the Most High say, they're gonna take your sons and your daughter, and not no power in your hand to even defend them. Right? He said he forced these peaceful native work into his gold mine until they died from exhaustion. If an Indian worker did not deliver his full coat of gold dust by Columbus' deadline, soldiers would cut off the man's hand and tie them around the neck and send the message. It was so endurable for these sweet and gentle island people that at one point hundreds of them commit mass suicide. The Catholic law forbade the enslavement of Christians, but Columbus solved his problem. He simply refused to baptize the native people of Hispaniola. Right? He said he said on the second trip, to the New World, Columbus brought cannon and attacked dogs. If a native resists slavery, he would cut off a nose or an ears. He said if slaves tried to escape, Columbus had them born alive. Other time, he sent attack dogs to hunt, would tear off the arms and legs of the screaming native while they were still alive. If the Spaniard ran short of meat to feed the dogs, Arawak babies were killed for dog food. You understand? So, and you see, that's why the most I see people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge now. You know, you people hearing these things that happen to our people come out, but yes, line and play dumb to these things. These is exactly what happened.
Done.
The most I revealing these things. They give our babies, they kill our babies to feed their dogs now. You understand? Yeah, back in if you ask anything, I can bring it out to you in the scripture. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Yeah, because when he came to the island of Bahamas, the Arawaks and the Taino, they greet him with open hand and with respect, and they deal honestly with him. You understand? Why scripture saying Ecclesiasticus 12 and 17, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And when they was dwelling there, that no criminal, that no poison, that no prisoner. When this man come, all these things start happening. When this devil come, right? You so called white people are the devil, right? And you're gonna pay for all these things that you do.
That's right.
You gotta pay for it, right? He said, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And this we do to our brothers. You understand?
Done. I appreciate
Yeah.
this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse. I'll read from verse 5. And there was given him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And he opened his mouth. This dealing with Edomites, right? This is the Edomite. And he opened his mouth, blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Right? That is going into what? Christopher Columbus. Alright? That is coming into the Renaissance era. When you might stand back to gain power over the earth. Alright? Because prior to that, it was living up in the caves. But Renaissance meaning rebirth. The rebirth of what? Something had to be reborn, which was the Roman Empire. Which you were over here on the west. Alright? The western part of the world. And when you took over here, beginning with Christopher Colon or Christopher Columbus, all you was given power to make war with the saints. Alright? So it wasn't a peaceable time for the saints. The saints are the Most High, are the Hebrew Israelites, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans. Tainos would be considered Latino today. And so-called Latino people are Hebrew Israelites, and them is saints are the Most High, and the scripture saying it perfectly here. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and overcome them. And they made war with the saints and overcame them. You know, with Christopher Columbus, he made war with the saints of kind, what is called at the hands of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians.
I have a, oh, when you finish, right, I have a plug-in on that Renaissance. Because just watching the time now.
Go ahead, Al.
Just
Go ahead,
watching
Al.
the time. But he not finished with the precept. So when he finished,
Done.
I was the time so we had to go to camp. So
It says, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Yeah, go ahead.
alright, just on the Renaissance. In the book Empires and Conquest, it says printing greatly helped revive the revival interest of the ancient world. A process later called the Renaissance, rebirth of learning. Printing also helped to spread education. More and more lay people came to be educated. Well, but we know the true meaning of the word educate means what? To draw out, right? So it's programming they was doing, right? Because as they said printing. Printing is a form of what? Advertisement or advertising, which means what? Persuade people to buy or something that you selling, right? They call them what? The mother of witchcraft and all whoredoms, right? So that's what they did. They were selling whoredoms, right? This is let me continue. It says more and more lay people came to be educated, and from the 15th until at least the 19th century, a knowledge of Greek and Latin literature was a status symbol of the European upper classes. Now we know that the European upper classes or the European man is who the Edomite man, right? So we know that the Edomite man was programming. More and more people also started to read the Bible for themselves and to develop their own ideas about how to interpret it instead of just accepting what the church told them. The Renaissance was not just about literature. New styles in art, architecture, and were developed on the basis of ancient models, right? Which is not true because it was ancient models of what Rome, right? But there wasn't ancient models of what these individual cultures had. It was just all about a programming for everybody to be like what Greek and Rome, like Greece and Rome. It says the rediscovery of the ancient scientific texts stimulated new work in subject range from medicine to geography. Remember the scripture say, remember the days of old, and when you search on your fathers, seek out the old ways, the old paths. So these new ways was what? Was the ways of corruption. It says the ideas of the ancient Greek the ancient Greek geographer Ptolemy, for example, persuaded Columbus that he should reach Asia by sailing westward around the world. You see, so Ptolemy, who was what? Who was the ruler of the province of what? Mizraim, which later became known as Egypt. Right? He persuaded Columbus according to this book. But Ptolemy thought that the world was much smaller than it really was, and that Asia extended further than it does. So Columbus underestimated the distance between Europe and Asia by westward route. Above all, the Renaissance encouraged people to think in new ways. They found that they began to admire societies of ancient Greece and Rome. See what I'm saying? Right? So the Renaissance was what was to glorify the so-called white man's kingdom. What you're doing today, because America is just a rebirth of the Greco-Roman society. A brother was going into it. When you go into the Roman Colosseums and some of the old relics, they had storefronts, like what your modern day malls look like. So your malls are old patterns of what? Of ancient Rome and Greece. Right? So there's a new way, the new corruption. It says they found that they began to admire the societies of ancient Greece and Rome, neither of which was based on Christianity. While very few students of the new learning questioned Christianity itself, it did lead them to wonder about some of the forms that Christianity took in the church of their own day. Right? So I'll stop there with that and I'll just bring some precepts on what they was bringing out on he saw that on Columbus when he was slaughtering. This is hey, let me start with Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 12. For thus say the Lord, behold, right? Those whose judge, thus said the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, which was the nation of Israel. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Though thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Right? I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Bozrah shall become a desolation and a reproach and a waste and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual what waste. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. It says, prepare slaughter for their children, for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So we're reading about Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon, that devil, right? Because he did a great iniquity against the children of the Most High, the apple of his eye, the nation of Israel. He brought them what? He was what? The founder, the so-called founder of the New World, where he went and slaughtered the natives, slaughtered the 10 tribes, and even slaughtered Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? It says, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with their cities. So the Most High has to eradicate them after what? After that 1,000 years of building our kingdom, when they're going to go through hardcore rigorous slavery, and then the Most High say what? He's gonna eradicate them. And the last precept I'm gonna bring is Job 27 verse 13. This is the portion of the wicked man with the Most High, and the heritage of the oppressor, which they shall receive of the Almighty. It says, if their children be multiplied, is for the sword, and for his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep. Right? And we see the dangers of letting one either might live. One either might live, because we read it in First Kings. Hadad, I think Hadad was his name. He survived, right? He was a child and they hit him and he survived. But he hit. And guess what? His seed came, dwelled over the place, dwelled over the whole earth, and what?
It was a few of them. For I think it's First King and 11.
Yeah, First Kings and 11 going on about 17. Right? You can give your closing because we got to get ready to go to camp now.
Yeah. And let's go after this one. This is Ezekiel chapter 25. Yeah, Ezekiel 25 and 12. He said, thus said the Lord Yahweh power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. He said, so like, no, that's one. That one. I think it's 202. Yeah, this is Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. He said, therefore, as I live, said Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And this is going to happen to you, devil, because you went and shed the blood of the children of Israel without a cause. Because they didn't violate you. You understand? They didn't threaten you with nothing violently. But because of covetousness, because you was the devil, that's why you act like how you act. Numbers 35 and 33.
So he shall not pollute the land wherein he are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed for the blood that is shed herein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
That's right.
So you so go wipe through, your blood gotta be shed too. You understand? You gotta go through you gotta go through the same atrocity that you did to the Israelite Jacob. We're gonna sell your children into slavery, we're gonna split up your family, and we're gonna put you out to death. Just said the scripture, right? Thus said the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, Obadiah 1 and 18. Right? You devils got to pay.
Right. So with that, we give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Barakah, Kodash. The blood of our apostles and let's agree no soon who do well. Salutations to the brothers that preach and teach his word, it's sincerity and in truth. And you'll keep pushing, scripture says, behold, keep thou watch thou heart and hold fast until I come. Right? Continue to push. Right? We're gonna be on a live stream in a couple of minutes. We're going out on the streets to do the work. Right? So you can stay tuned or tune in. Right? Shalom.
Shalom.